Hi, everyone. Welcome today. My name is Rachel. I'm the health coach here at Flowly, and we will begin in just one moment. I want to give time for people to get in on this beautiful morning, or maybe it's not morning where you are. Let me see here. Perfect. Welcome. If you're just joining, feel free to go ahead and say hello in the chat. We're going to be chatting a lot today. So you can let us know where you're coming from, what you're hoping to learn from the webinar today, anything you want to share. I'm here in Los Angeles. I was going to say sunny Los Angeles because that's pretty true, but it's actually nice and kind of cozy today. I'm wearing a sweater. Perfect for our holiday overwhelm discussion. Okay, perfect. Welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. And the chat should be turned on. I checked my settings, but if it's not, you can always put things in the Q&A as well. So a lot of what we're going to be doing today is going to be getting a really personalized view for you. So that means that you can ask any kinds of questions that you want. There's nothing too specific, nothing too vague. And if you're not as comfortable putting it in the chat, even directly to myself, then you can go ahead and put it in the Q&A. And I have my amazing associate Kimberly with me here today. If you haven't had a chance to connect with her, if you're one of our Flowly heroes, she's amazing. So she will be here in the chat as well. Okay, perfect. Hi, welcome from Delaware. How is it in Delaware? I imagine a little bit even cooler than here in California. I'm normally all for the hot weather of the summer, but this year I'm very excited to just get a little bit of a cool breeze. Oh, sunny over there too. Perfect. A perfect day for this. And then remember that this will go out as a recording, so feel free to take any notes that you want. I actually recommend it, but we will also be sending you a recording of this that you can refer to at any time. So let me go ahead and do a brief introduction of myself. My name is Rachel. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and I really am passionate about helping people live really stress-free lives. Now, we all have stressors in our lives, so it's not that we need to avoid them, but when we're here, it can be really helpful to have tips and techniques to navigate all of that. So that's what I'm here to do today. So go ahead and welcome. Say hi in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Before we begin, like many of our Flowly workshops, I'm going to do a short breathing exercise so we can really ground into this moment, myself included. So go ahead and just get comfortable wherever you are. If you're sitting, if you're listening while you're walking, wherever you are, go ahead and just start to notice your breath. You don't have to make any changes, but just go ahead and notice where you are. Hi, welcome. We're just getting started with our breathing. So notice how you're breathing. Are you breathing in through your nose? Are you breathing in through your mouth? Are you breathing high in your chest? Are you breathing low in your belly? This is not a judgment. This is just for you to notice and bring some curiosity. Okay, perfect. So now that we're just easing into it, maybe you can wiggle a little bit, and I would love for you to go ahead and breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. You could also play it with breathing out through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Okay. And go ahead, we're just going to do 3 breaths like this, nice and slow. I'd love for you to focus on breathing in through your belly. Okay, go ahead and breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. Amazing. Let me know one word how you're feeling in the chat. Just one word so that we know where we're starting and where we're ending. We're going to be discussing potential triggers today, potential stressors. So I really want to make sure we're coming from a place of safety in our body and in our minds. That's just a nice way to navigate any potential stressors. Okay, we're feeling relaxed. Great, that's a perfect place to start. Amazing. Okay, so I'm actually going to share my screen here, and we're going to go through just a short outline of what we're going to do today. Okay. Perfect. Let me know if you are seeing this here. Just gonna pull myself in front. Oh, hey, awesome. Okay. So we are here to overcome holiday overwhelm. Holiday overwhelm, what is it? What does that look like? So according to the American Psychological Association, 38% of people surveyed said their stress increased during the holiday season. Go ahead and throw a hands up, a little wave, a yes in the chat if this is you, if you feel like your stress does increase during the holiday season. I would also love to know what holidays you celebrate. A lot of our conventional holidays here in the Northern Hemisphere are Christmas, Thanksgiving. We also, if you just celebrated Diwali, maybe you celebrate Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, let us know what you're celebrating this year. And the National Alliance on Mental Illness noted that 64% of individuals living with a mental illness felt that their conditions worsened over the holidays. So if you have a pre-existing condition, then this stress might affect you even more. So that's why we're doing this webinar today, to give you some techniques, some tips, some tricks where you can really know how to navigate this overwhelm and hopefully have an easier, more relaxing time over the next couple of weeks or months. Okay, potential stressors. I just want to start out with a stressor that might come up, which is finances. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're gift giving, maybe that there's something that's coming up that you just feel like you have a financial stress during this season of life that you don't normally have. For all of the potential stressors I'm going to go over, go ahead and make sure that you keep breathing during this webinar and notice which ones resonate with you. By identifying which stressor resonates with you, you're going to be able to come up with a really personalized action plan for yourself of how you're going to navigate it this year. So while we're breathing, just note for yourself, do you feel more financial stress around the holiday season? Again, this is no judgment. This is just here for you to know, okay, this is going on. That's okay. And I'd also love to hear what you think the stressors are going to be. So go ahead and list those as well. Yeah, I'm hearing that some people are feeling stressed about this. This is really common. Again, you are not alone. That's why we're doing this. We all go through these stressors in different ways. So if this is you, just make a mental note or write it down as we go through the webinar. This is a potential stressor for you. No problem. Okay. The next one, expectations. This is a little bit broader, but I think it really encapsulates a lot of what comes up for us over the holiday. Maybe it's what you feel someone's expectation of you is, or maybe it's your expectation of a fantasy holiday that doesn't come true. We come in with these stories and these fantasies, and sometimes the reality of it really clashes, and that can be really stressful. So if you have a moment here to keep breathing and think to yourself, what are my expectations around this holiday season? Do I think I need to host or travel or do this or that? Or what do I feel like other people's expectations of me are? Just some interesting questions to tune into. All right, next one. Relationships. Relationships are not inherently stressful, but over and over in the research and in my personal research into this topic, relationships tie in people that you may not normally see, people that you may have conflict with that you need to be in a room with, maybe someone you love that is no longer here or no longer in your life. Just go ahead and do a quick tune in. What relationships are you expecting to experience this holiday season? Which ones are you looking forward to? Which ones are you not looking forward to? Which ones do you wish that you had? All of those are potential stressors to our nervous system. Food. Food is a huge one around the holidays. I love food. I am an integrative nutrition health coach, so I really love nourishment and I really love food. But this is one that I hear over and over again that people come into with expectations around food, expectations around weight, body image, how they feel. Yeah, someone was saying that for the expectations, they feel like they should celebrate like years ago. Yeah, that's really insightful for you to notice for yourself and for your own story. I want to delve into that later, so I see you there. But for food, holiday season can typically involve a lot of desserts, a lot of parties, a lot of people bringing in food, and it can be really triggering for whatever might be going on with your relationship with food. If you were here for our mindful eating webinar, that could be a great one to refer to for the holiday season as well. So we'll come back to all of these later on as we go into more individual situations and questions, but this is a big one to keep an eye on. And the last one I wanted to bring up was actually seasonal affective disorder, because here in the Northern Hemisphere, our days are starting to get shorter and we're getting less light, less exposure to vitamin D, and seasonal affective disorder can be really disorienting and even disabling if you experience that. And I also think it's really indicative of how our bodies influence how we feel. If we don't have enough of what we need, of a nutrient like vitamin D, or we don't have enough even sleep or nourishment, then obviously there's going to be a ripple effect here. So this is something to keep in mind as we go forward. So the next thing I want to talk about, now that we've kind of identified some potential stressors, you can take a peek here. Maybe all 5 of these are really true for you, feeling really, really true. Or maybe there's one that you're like, this is the one this year I need to navigate with more ease. Whatever that looks like for you, go ahead and make a note before I move on. Finances, expectations, relationships, food, seasonal affective disorder, or other things going on with your body. And then how it feels. So what does holiday stress feel like? I started here with grief, because if you've ever lost someone, whatever situation that looks like, the holidays can feel like a lot of grief, and it can be difficult to hold that with the same joy and celebration going on. And I would encourage you to just identify here as these emotions come up on the screen, if any of this feels true for you, and we're going to work on how we can hold both. That if you're with someone you love and you also wish someone else that you love was here, holding both of those experiences at the same time. So if you are experiencing grief in your life, I really send a lot of love your way and just want to acknowledge that can really come up around the holidays. The next one coming up here is going to be loneliness. Maybe you're looking ahead to the holidays like there's no one that I'm celebrating with, or no one that I want to be celebrating with. This is a really valid emotion, and a lot of times we can feel pressure internally or externally to feel a certain way. So if you're surrounded by people at a party and you feel really lonely, it can be tempting to just say, I shouldn't feel lonely. So I acknowledge that there, and I also would encourage you to continue connecting with your breath now. And as you go forward on your journey, as you allow these uncomfortable emotions to arise, to continue to breathe, acknowledge, maybe even put your hand on your heart, maybe even tap both your shoulders. Just give yourself some love and support here. Someone saying they've been isolated because they're immunocompromised, and people don't think about that. That is huge. That is really huge, and a huge loss to not feel seen, to not feel acknowledged, and then to also not have that support. So we're definitely here to help you navigate that this year and going forward. The next one, anxiety. Woo! There can be many things that come up that induce anxiety: travel, logistics, hosting, social anxiety, being with people. This is something we work with a lot here at Flowly, so I won't delve too deep into it right now, but acknowledging that anxiety can come up and can be exacerbated by the holiday season. The next one is overwhelm. That is the title of our webinar. That's how I kind of summed up everything, but just maybe you don't even know how you're feeling. Maybe it's just, I'm just overwhelmed. It's just a lot, and that's okay. If it's just a lot, you don't know what to do, breathe. We'll start with the breath. And then the last one being judgment, which I just realized I misspelled. So sorry, everyone. But judgment, because with expectations and anxiety, a lot of times we can have stories towards ourselves full of judgment. I invite you to release that here and release that forward. But if you're feeling it, that's totally okay. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to go into more personalized steps here. So go ahead and start sending in your questions in the chat and in the Q&A, because I do want to give you as much of a personalized action plan as I can. But these are some really great next steps for preparing your nervous system to navigate stressors. And one thing I want to preface this with, if you've been to a Flowly workshop before, you have heard all about the nervous system. So in a really quick sound bite, I just want to let you know that our nervous system has two parts. The sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. The parasympathetic nervous system, rest and recover, rest and digest. So we need both of those. Those are two modes of the same nervous system. But very often, specifically in stressful situations or stressful seasons, we get stuck in fight or flight mode. This has a cascade of effects in our body that can result in pain, anxiety, lack of sleep, etc. So we want to have something in place to help shift us consciously and unconsciously into rest and digest. So when we are with people we love, eating delicious food, we can be relaxed and enjoy it, digest our food, feeling good, versus staying really activated fight or flight mode, okay? So I always love to start with acknowledging how you feel. Even having that awareness is going to allow it to be less overwhelming. Noticing, I feel really lonely right now. And I feel judgmental for myself. I shouldn't feel lonely. Just acknowledging it will allow your body to not have to hold it for you. So we're going to acknowledge however that is going forward. This is something you can practice on the daily so that when you do have a big party, traveling, something extra added into your life, you've prepared. You know how to scan your body. You know how to take a breath. You know how to check in with yourself. I also want to say, identify your support resources. You do not have to do this alone. You do not. You are not alone in this. You are not alone in how you feel. So identify your support resources. These could be resources like Flowly, like a toolkit, like a meditation practice, like a friend you can call, like your therapist. Whatever support looks like for you, like your doctor, like your chiropractor, like it could be literally whatever supports you. Your pet, a nap, your delicious bed, whatever it is, identify your support resources, write those down, even put them somewhere you can see them, on your fridge, on your bathroom mirror. I'm not alone. Look at these support resources that I have. Humans really thrive in connection. So if you need help with that, you can always send us an email, contact@flowly.world, because we do have a great community in our Flowly app, on our private Instagram page. There's a lot that we can do. Okay, so establish a routine for recovery. I want to do this with cover the bases, but establish a routine for recovery. What I mean for that is, with your parasympathetic nervous system being rest and recovery mode, establishing a routine for switching into that will be so helpful, because it's a routine, it's a habit. So when you go into a stressful situation, you don't even have to think about it. For me, it's a Flowly session. It's knowing I can just lay down, just follow my breathing guide. I don't have to think about anything, and I can reset. That could also be a walk in nature. It could be a bubble bath. It could be a nap. Anything that's a true restorative time. And again, putting that routine in place before the holiday season, that's why we're doing this first webinar now, is going to allow your body to, one, get used to relaxing, practice recovering. So it's much, much easier when you really need it. And then cover the bases is just take care of yourself, eat food, sleep, drink water, move your body, connect with people you love, cover your bases. Because if you go in depleted to a stressful season of life, it can be just that much more difficult to navigate it. And the last next step is to stay curious. What is working for me? How do I feel? What do I need to feel seen, valued, and heard? Being curious about yourself is such an act of self-love and self-compassion. So I have a lot of things coming in through the chat and the Q&A, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen here so I can get into those and start working on some of these questions. Okay. Someone was saying pets come to them when they're upset. I have 2 cats I'm obsessed with, and they are such a reset for my nervous system. So I love that. Let me know what kind of pets you have. I'm a huge animal person, so it just brings so much joy to my heart. You have 2 beagles. If you are a Flowy hero, I would encourage you to post a picture of your beagles in our community because I really want to see them. That's just for me, but I would love to see that. Okay, so a couple questions. A recovery routine. Let me know. As a health coach, what I love to do is to break it down into actionable steps, because sometimes learning all of this information is helpful, but just at a high level, you think, okay, well, what does that mean for me on like a Tuesday afternoon? What does that mean for me when I'm working 2 jobs? All of those specific questions, I'm here to help. And also, if you are a Flowly hero, I always offer a free individual health coaching consultation with you. So you can email us, contact@flowly.world. Kimberly, if you want to go ahead and put that in the chat, you can just send us an email, contact@flowly.world, and we'll let you know how to schedule that consultation. If you want something, a really one-on-one call with me to get ready for the season, we can definitely do that. And then last thing, because I want to keep this nice and short today, this is just a prep for you, right? This is for you to prepare to navigate stressors with ease. I wanted to talk about, to reiterate that it is okay to feel stressed. It is okay to encounter stressors. We are built for it. That's why we have a sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight mode, that helps us to get through things and be active and be productive. So it is okay to navigate stressors, but having a plan in place for you to recover, to nourish yourself, to acknowledge, to breathe through it, that's what's going to allow you to use both systems of your nervous system versus staying stuck in fight or flight. We might fight or flight, get through the airport. That really helped us navigate what we needed to. And now that we're at our destination, we can relax, recover, enjoy, eat, right? Okay, perfect. And then last question, probably before we go, but they said, someone was talking about having family members that don't support them, and that can be really, really difficult. But they did list a couple other things that do support them, like their friends and meditation. So I think acknowledging where you wish you had more support can be very healing, because acknowledging maybe you feel lonely because you feel isolated from your family or whatever that is, acknowledging those feelings, letting that breath come through, and then letting your focus be on the support that you do have, that can be really, really powerful. And I also have a really special announcement at Flowly. We are really thankful for our community. We are so appreciative of every single hero in our community. So we are doing an extra referral bonus right now for the holiday season, where if you refer someone that you love to Flowly and they sign up, you actually get a $50 gift card, and your loved one gets $50 off their Flowly subscription. And this is just a thank you from us to help everyone get their nervous system nice and balanced and have a little bit of an extra bonus for the holidays. So that's something I'm really excited about. Again, if you have any questions about how to redeem that, same thing, email us at contact@flowly.world. Thank you so, so much for joining us today. We are going to do a part 2 of this webinar in November. We will send you an email with all the details. If you signed up for today, you're automatically signed up for that one, where we can see how your prep is going from this webinar and then a little bit more of support through this season. Thank you, everyone.